So
Give
please, what are some
examples.
of the examples and also the types of the neighbor?
Okay, so we when we look around, we can see that family relatives. Okay, example of a neighbor, your colleagues, whether at work or any engagement that you are involved in. Okay, it could be your neighbor, your co-worshippers if you are in church. People you worship with could be your neighbor, your community where you stay, the people around in your household, their neighbor. And by extension, strangers can also be neighbors to you. Okay. And lastly, nowadays, because of technology, we also have people that we follow online. Maybe you've not met in person, but that person you are following online. So, one, the person has the capacity to also influence your life. Such people are also neighbors to us. So, you can call them social media influencers. Okay, so all these people are neighbors in our lives. And if you talk about the types of neighbors, there are two broad type of neighbors we want to discuss. Okay, the first one is the bad neighbor, and the second one is the good neighbor. Okay, so these two broad categories of neighbors we want to define, discuss, and I'm sure it will help us be better. Finally, then we look at maybe the impact of neighbors in our lives, or maybe how what are the key lessons we can pick out of this discussion. Okay, that's good.
So please, you did mention of a bad and also a
A
good
good neighbor.
neighbor.
That's right.
Why do we have bad and good neighbor?
Okay, that's a
Are
very
they
good
all
question.
not human or not neighbors?
Yes. So we see the character or the attributes of an individual, which will help us to inform us whether the person is a good neighbor or a bad neighbor. So when we look at some of the key characteristics of who a good neighbor is, I'm sure it can help us to answer this question. So let's look at some of the key characteristics of a good neighbor. Now we see that a good neighbor always draw near in time of need. That is when you are in need, a good neighbor will get closer to you to make sure that the person provides support in order for you to overcome your critical times. You could also see that a good neighbor shows compassion, and that is intended to improve your life. So it's not just showing compassion because certain expressions can be shown, but we are interested in those one that is intended to make sure that you improve, especially out of your need. So a good neighbor will come, get closer to you, and show compassion to you, but with the intention to improve your state or predicament and make sure that your life is better. And I think that is the quality of a very good neighbor. Also, we can see that a good neighbor will also make sure that he provide helpful support for you, supports that are able to help you to get out of your need or your trouble. You know, it's not every support that we receive in life that is able to help us or improve us. Certain support could also be a snare. But when you're talking about a good neighbor, the support the person is providing is helping you to improve you. We also notice that a good neighbor will sacrifice for your recovery. In times when you are stricken by disaster, a good neighbor will come to make sure that whatever will help you out of any situation of predicament, the person is able to provide and support for it. These lessons we can see from the story of a good Samaritan that Jesus shared in the Bible. Okay, so a good neighbor will always make sure that he gives you what you need so that you recover and improve, okay, from any lifestyle of disaster, or make sure that he sacrifice himself for your recovery. That is, he will even um, expend on you to make sure that you recover out of any need or any situation that requires assistance. A good neighbor will also make sure that he relocates you from any toxic environment that is trying to protect you. So sometimes when someone is protecting you, one of the things the person will be interested in is making sure that he's moving you from any environment. Nowadays, we say that that provides negative energy. Any environment that try to drains you or try to take away your strength, weakens you, a good neighbor will make sure that he takes you out of that environment and provide you with a safe environment where you can recover and increase. You could also see that